Headlines of VTV News. State President attends APEC CEO Summit 2024 in Peru. Vietnam seeks to boost exports to the U.S. market. And later on in our world news, U.S. and China to meet in between APEC summits.
Broadcasting from Hanoi, the capital of Vietnam. VTV News starts right now.
Hello, this is VTV News coming live to you from Hanoi. You're with me, Lina Fatman. Here's the top news of the hour. State President Lương Cường delivered a message of firm confidence in a bright future while addressing the APEC CEO Summit 2024 as part of his attendance at the APEC Economic Leaders Week in Lima on the morning of November the 14th local time. The state president emphasized that the role of enterprises is always respected and their voice is always heard. He stated that enterprises are the ones who bring the boldest ideas to life. The president expressed hope that enterprises in the region will pioneer digital transformation in conjunction with green and circular transformations. He also encouraged them to actively participate in shaping laws and regulations for new fields, continuing to serve as bridges connecting countries. The president highlighted Vietnam's strategic potential and affirmed that the country is entering a new era characterized by a fast-growing, dynamic economy, a stable and strong political system, and friendships with many countries and partners across 5 continents. He emphasized that Vietnam's strong development will create numerous opportunities and bring benefits to international enterprises and investors. Vietnam is continuously improving its investment and business environment, focusing on removing bottlenecks and implementing flexible and competitive policies to welcome investors. Prime Minister Phạm Minh Chính conducted a fact-finding tour and held a working session with authorities of the northern border provinces of Cao Bằng and Lạng Sơn on November the 14th to expedite expressway projects and review the construction of a pilot smart border gate. Prime Minister Phạm Minh Chính stressed the significance of the Đồng Đăng Lạng Sơn, Trà Lĩnh Cao Bằng, and Hữu Nghị Chi Lăng Lạng Sơn expressway projects, not only for their connectivity with regional expressways and the North-South expressway network, but also for their linkage with China. They are integral to Vietnam's goal of building 3,000 kilometers of expressways nationwide by the end of 2025 and 5,000 kilometers by 2030. The projects are expected to drive socio-economic development across Cao Bằng, Lạng Sơn, and the entire country. To date, site clearance for both projects is largely complete, with 4 tunnels already under construction. The Prime Minister directed that these projects be expedited to meet the 2025 deadline while maintaining high-quality standards. While reviewing the draft law amending and supplementing a number of articles in the law on health insurance, the National Assembly Standing Committee largely agreed with the expansion of benefits for participants. The National Assembly Standing Committee agreed to include village health workers and village midwives as health insurance participants and to implement suitable policies for people's health care in remote areas. The draft law also clarified new forms of medical services covered by health insurance, such as remote medical examination and treatment, family medical examination and treatment, and at-home medical examination and treatment. On November the 14th, many party and state leaders participated in the Great National Unity Festival at local residential areas across various regions. More to follow.
In Taiping, Trần Cẩm Tú, permanent member of Party Central Committee's Secretariat, acknowledged villagers' proactive efforts to implement the movement. All people unite to build the new style rural and civilized urban areas.
Also celebrating Great National Unity Day in Hun Yin, chairman of the Vietnam Fatherland Front Central Committee, Do Văn Chinh, congratulated residents of Dinh Cao Commune, Phu Cu District, on their achievements. He expressed hope that the community would continue to promote unity in economic and social development.
Deputy Prime Minister Trần Đông Hà attended the Great National Unity Festival with the people of Quarter 3, Phước Nguyên Ward, Bà Rịa City, Bà Rịa Vũng Tàu Province. Earlier, the Deputy Prime Minister had worked with local authorities to address challenges faced by businesses in the province, particularly those in the petrochemical and chemical industries.
In the first 10 months of this year, agricultural, forestry, and fishery exports brought in more than $51.7 billion, up 20% over the same period last year. Notably, the United States has surpassed China to become Vietnam's largest import market, with a market share of 21.6%. Compared to the same period last year, the export value of Vietnamese agricultural, forestry, and fishery products to the U.S. market increased by nearly 26%. Wooden furniture and seafood continue to play a key role, with export turnover increasing by 26% and 14% respectively. Other agricultural products such as cashew nuts, pepper, and vegetables also contributed significantly to the total export turnover. In addition to the 8 types of fruit allowed to be officially imported, recently the Vietnamese Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development and the U.S. Department of Agriculture carried out legal procedures to allow the import of Vietnamese passion fruit and initiate the review process for the new Vietnamese products, including seedless lemon, guava, and jackfruit. With numerous discount promotions and major holidays approaching, the purchasing power of the U.S. market is forecast to continue growing. This trend is expected to create opportunities for Vietnam's agricultural, forestry, and fishery products to achieve higher export growth.
16 Vietnamese enterprises participated in the High Point Market Fair in the United States, the largest and most prestigious furniture and home decor trade show in the global industry. The Vietnamese products showcased at this event featured significant investments in design, style, and materials.
We do a lot of business in Vietnam already, so we just plan on continuing the business over there. We like the container rate is good, the shipping rate is good, the time that it comes is fast, so we're really happy with what we get from Vietnam. Vietnam product in here, it looks good.
The nearly 500 square meter Vietnamese pavilion serves as a venue for manufacturers and importers to meet and network. Businesses are not only seeking partners, but also collaborating on issues related to standards and technical requirements.
All products are designed and manufactured according to the requirements of the U.S. market. The product structure is optimized to align with cost optimization in marketing and logistics, which currently account for a large portion of the production costs.
The Ministry of Industry and Trade recommends that businesses ensure consistent quality for products exported to large markets like the United States.
When we export more to the U.S., there are risks of businesses facing more trade defense cases. Therefore, manufacturers must carefully record detailed information about product origin, input, and output costs to be ready to demonstrate transparency if necessary.
Recent positive developments, such as gradually controlled inflation and a recovering housing market, are creating opportunities for Vietnamese businesses to increase their agricultural exports to the U.S. market.
On Thursday, the People's Committee of Danang City held the forum Danang Free Trade Zone, a new driver for the development of Danang's industry. The forum provided an opportunity for the city to discuss specific solutions and tasks to promote logistics development and to outline the establishment of the Danang Free Trade Zone in alignment with Resolution number 136 by the National Assembly on urban governance and special pilot policies for the city's development. The forum will also include the launch ceremony of the Steering Committee for the Development of Danang's logistics industry. The central focus of Danang's urban governance will be the creation of a free trade zone and the implementation of various pilot policies. Several days into negotiations at COP29, little progress has been made on green finance goals. Despite efforts to create a unified agenda, disagreements between countries have hindered results. This year's focus on climate finance has proven particularly challenging.
A key outcome from COP29 is the agreement on carbon credit standards, which will facilitate more carbon credit trading. Vietnam's aviation industry plans to launch its voluntary carbon reduction program for international flights on January 1, 2026.
The agreement enables transparent trading. As a result, Vietnamese airlines will be able to purchase carbon credits from projects based in Vietnam.
So far, the COP29 has raised just 19 million USD from Sweden. The proposed 120 billion USD annual lending from multilateral development banks to developing countries for climate adaptation remains a debated issue.
International resources are available to support Vietnam, but the conditions are too strict, potentially raising the country's debt ceiling and limiting access.
In this context, numerous side events have proposed nature-based solutions to secure climate finance. These discussions underscore the importance of diversifying investment sources.
And before we move to the next part of VTV News, let's check out how the Vietnam đồng is weighed against other currencies in the world market today. Coming up next, vocational training changes lives in Danang province. And Vietnam unlocks potential of Halal tourism. The subsidence incident at the Ya Ring Reservoir irrigation system in Ya Tiem Commune, Chu Se District, Gia Lai Province is now under control. After 24 hours of mobilizing resources for repairs, local authorities managed the situation by Friday morning, adhering to the 4 on-site principle. Crews worked through the night to seal leaks in the water intake pipe at 2 major subsidence points on the dam. Meanwhile, continuous water drainage lowered the Ya Ring Reservoir's water level, reducing pressure on the affected areas. Experts from the Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development were also on site to assess the situation, determine the costs, and propose long-term solutions to ensure the structure's absolute safety. Poverty reduction efforts in Danang province have been implemented through vocational training programs. Many training initiatives have proved effective in meeting local needs and conditions, helping many ethnic households escape poverty and stabilize their lives.
Just 6 months after completing an animal husbandry training course, this farmer successfully applied his newfound knowledge to raising crossbred wild pigs and chickens. His livestock is now thriving. His latest sale earned him over 787 USD, significantly more than his usual income.
After completing the training, I learned how to better care for my pigs. I understand when to vaccinate, prevent diseases, and feed them properly. I've now sold several batches of chickens and 1 of pigs, and the results have been very encouraging.
The livelihoods of ethnic communities in Danang largely rely on farming. Recognizing this, the province has organized flexible vocational classes that focus on agriculture, animal husbandry, and traditional crafts to facilitate seamless application in local production.
After seeing positive results in crop cultivation and veterinary training programs, we plan to continue offering courses tailored to local needs in the coming years to achieve even greater results.
In 2023 alone, Danang trained over 4,300 rural workers, including more than 2,000 from poor or ethnic households, with investment totaling $551,000 USD. Nearly all graduates have successfully applied their skills to family businesses, with many households lifting themselves out of poverty.
The vocational training initiative has reshaped perceptions among the poor, especially ethnic communities. They now receive guidance in scientific techniques and improved livestock practices. These skills are helping them build sustainable livelihoods.
Between 2021 and 2025, Danang has allocated over 5.3 million USD to train more than 20,000 workers, with ethnic households comprising about 40% of participants.
According to the government's decree number 147, both cross-border and domestic social media platforms in Vietnam will be required to authenticate users' accounts through mobile phone subscriptions. The authentication process must be completed within 90 days of the decree's effective date, which begins on December the 25th. For users without a Vietnamese mobile phone number, a personal identification number will be used for authentication. Users who live stream for commercial purposes must authenticate their accounts using a personal identification number. Only authenticated accounts will be permitted to post and share information on social media platforms. The traditional attire of the Hmong Hoa women features a colorful skirt adorned with vibrant accessories, all skillfully crafted by hand. In the following report, we'll visit Ban Pho commune in Bắc Hà district, Lào Cai province, to experience the fascinating world of brocade, embroidery, and wax painting.
The Hmong Hoa women at the Brocade Embroidery and Wax Painting Club of Ban Pho commune craft these traditional garments. Not only do they produce these vibrant outfits, but they also pass down their cultural craftsmanship to younger generations.
My mother taught me how to weave and I entered primary school. Then when I understood the basics of needlework, I learned how to do this.
My grandparents and parents passed down the art of brocade weaving to us. Their techniques are still relevant because they are done differently from what we do today.
Established in 2024, the club serves as a community hub for women engaged in this intricate and artistic work. These products are not only functional, but also play a role in promoting local tourism.
We have proposed the establishment of a brocade weaving club to preserve cultural identity, attract tourists, and create additional income for women during their free time.
Brocade products from this community are growing even more diverse, featuring unique and captivating designs. During their experience at the club, tourists can further explore the rich cultural heritage of the Hmong Hoa people in the White Plateau region of Bắc Hà district.
The global Muslim tourism market is projected to reach $330 billion by 2025. Despite its rich tourism assets, Vietnam has yet to fully tap into the supply chain and services for this growing demographic. Currently, the country hosts only about 1.5 million Muslim tourists annually. What obstacles are hindering the growth of this market in Vietnam, and what steps has the country taken to address these challenges and attract more Muslim visitors? The following report will tell you more.
According to several businesses and travel agencies involved in the Muslim tourism market, Vietnam faces a shortage of restaurants and hotels that meet halal standards, limiting the appeal of the destination for Muslim travelers.
The primary language among Muslim tourists is Arabic, and they require halal-certified food. Currently, most tourist areas have only one halal restaurant, so options are quite limited.
Another challenge is the lack of resources to train staff in Islamic language, culture, and beliefs, which limits our ability to cater to these guests fully.
At present, only 2 centers in Hanoi and Ho Chi Minh City offer Arabic training. This means that popular destinations like Sapa, as well as more distant locations such as Danang or Dalat, often lack Arabic-speaking guides.
Aware of these limitations, Vietnam is actively working to address the gaps in services and facilities for Muslim tourists. Efforts are underway to establish standards and certifications for service providers, ensuring compliance with halal requirements from cuisine to specific amenities.
The government also has established the Halal National Center. I think this also the good signal for all of the halal bodies have to register and under one umbrella. This is to proving the trustable with the halal market.
The hospitality industry now clearly understands here in Vietnam that they need to provide halal products. They need to provide the certification that goes with this, and I think appropriate signage, etc. And above all, the training of the team on the understanding of what these products are and how we serve these to our guests.
Muslims make up nearly a quarter of the global population, and Vietnam is becoming an increasingly popular destination for Muslim tourists from regions such as the Middle East, India, Malaysia, and Indonesia. Statistics from the Vietnam National Administration of Tourism indicate that approximately 1.5 million halal tourists visited Vietnam in 2023.
Coming up next in our world news, U.S. and China to meet in between APEC summits. And EU funds joint weapons procurement for the first time. U.S. President Joe Biden will hold private meetings with Chinese President Xi Jinping on the sidelines of the Asia-Pacific Economic Cooperation, or APEC, in Peru. The two leaders arrived in Lima, Peru on Thursday and are expected to meet on Friday. This could be the last meeting between U.S. President Joe Biden and Chinese President Xi Jinping before President-elect Donald Trump takes office in January 2025. Given Trump's indication of a continued hardline approach towards China, this bilateral meeting has become a highly anticipated event. North Korean leader Kim Jong-un oversaw a test of exploding drones designed to crash into targets and ordered their mass production. The North Korean leader had previously supervised a test of these drones, produced by North Korea's unmanned aerial technology complex. According to photos published by the Korean Central News Agency, the drones flew various routes and accurately struck targets. These unmanned aerial vehicles are designed to deliberately hit both land and sea targets. North Korea first introduced its self-produced drones in August. The European Union has, for the first time, used its budget to support member states to jointly procure defense products. The bloc is investing 300 million euros to support groups, or up to 9 member countries, in buying air defense systems, armored vehicles, and artillery ammunition, some of which will be sent to Ukraine. Since the Russia-Ukraine conflict began in February 2022, the EU has been working to boost its defense industry to arm Ukraine and strengthen its own forces. While it fell short of a promise to supply Kyiv with mission artillery shells by the end of March 2024, the EU diplomacy chief has pledged that this goal will be achieved before the year's end. South Korean researchers are reinventing the wheel with a morphing wheel that could allow wheelchairs to climb stairs and navigate rocky paths. These shape-shifting wheels touted as the world's first to change stiffness in real time, aim to help mobility devices overcome obstacles with ease. More to follow.
Traditional wheels, while ideal for flat surfaces, struggle with stairs and uneven terrain due to their rigid, unchanging shape. The morphing wheel, however, shifts between rigid and soft states without needing complex machinery or sensors.
Traditional wheels are designed to retain a rigid circular shape for stability on flat surfaces, which limits their ability to overcome obstacles. However, our wheel maintains its round form on flat ground and softens only when navigating obstacles.
The wheel's adaptability is inspired by the surface tension of liquid droplets. Using a smart chain block on its outer edge, the wheel can tighten or loosen in response to the terrain, much like how increased surface tension stabilizes a liquid droplet's shape. When wire spokes pull the smart chain blocks inward, the wheel becomes rigid for stability. When loosened, it softens, allowing it to mold to uneven surfaces.
This wheel can be attached to any mobile platform simply by replacing existing wheels. We are continuously conducting research to optimize the wheel's performance for various applications.
This technology allows the wheels to overcome obstacles up to 1.3 times their radius and reach speeds of 30 kilometers per hour. The research team sees vast potential for this wheel in a range of applications, from personal mobility devices to industrial robots.
And now let's take a look at the weather forecast. And that's it for this edition of VTV News. Thank you very much for watching. To rewatch our program, you can download VTVgo from App Store or Google Play or tune in our YouTube channel. Goodbye for now.